Well, hello, everyone out there listening to our first and very special edition of Byte Back, our podcast series where we talk about stuff that's happening in the news and actually sit down and have a beer, me and Lee. Say hello, Lee.
Hello, Lee.
So, this is going to be a very free-form, conversational kind of podcast where we talk about things that are happening in the news, important to us, the things we care about. And so, come along and join us for the ride. And obviously, if you like what you see here, no,
You'll,
listen here,
you'll see
here.
nothing.
Please click subscribe and be open to a world of content which is fantastic and all about us, makes it 200% better easily. So, Lee, I believe you have some topics to kick us off with. So let's get started. But before we do, let's
Yes.
open some beer because I have to open my beer before we get started because this is how we do most of our discussions, isn't it?
Down the pub normally, but seeing as they've put their prices up, this seems like the better option.
Yeah. Economy is in a dire state in this country, in the UK. So this is what we have to do. That was me opening a can, which didn't really sound like it made much noise.
No, it came across okay.
Excellent.
Mine's already open though, so I just have to slew noisily.
Dude, that sounds gross.
Oh, it's choked.
That's instant karma right there.
Yeah, you bastard universe. Jesus. Okay,
So
so first thing I want to talk about this evening
go for
is
it.
CD Projekt Red.
Yes.
Yes.
What about them?
Well, they're obviously the producers of the new Witcher game,
Yes.
which there is a possibility we may do a video on it. So
Oh, there's an absolute possibility we're going to do a review on it. Considering we've both bought the damn thing.
and I'm not criticizing them for the game because I don't think I'm spoiling anything by saying the game's not terrible. I think that's a reasonable thing to say. But some of their business practices are sort of anti. It's against how they used to be. CD Projekt Red were always great for gamers. You look at The Witcher 2, and all the DLC on that was free. Witcher 1, we got an enhanced version which fixed some of the problems with it, and they actually sort of did quite a lot of upgrading. And the same for Witcher 2. They added joypad support, stuff like that. Now they've got involved with the consoles. Damn you. Damn you all to hell.
Well, I think it's part of a bigger problem, Lee. It's not even just the fact that we can point our fingers at CD Projekt Red and say, this is something that you shouldn't be doing. It's unfortunately the way that almost every game in the last 2 or 3 years has started to move into this season pass restricted, dislocked, downloadable content, which is forcing people to pay more and more and more for the actual game. Now, good example of this was our recent review of Evolve,
Yeah.
where although most of it was cosmetic, there was millions of different packs you could buy, and if you really wanted to buy all the DLC, you were spending about 140 quid on
Yeah.
everything.
I mean, and the announced DLC for Arkham Knight. I seem to have left my tablet on somewhere. Never mind. Yeah, the DLC for Arkham Knight. I mean, you're talking. I think it's like £100 Batman game, somewhere around there.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just too much money for most people. Gaming used to be something you could do on the cheap, wasn't it? You had
Yeah,
in
yeah. I mean, you sort of like got games sort of back in the days with the Specky when you went to the news agents and they were just there on the front next to the chewing gum for like £3 a pop.
yeah, but I mean, I guess it's the nature of the industry how it's grown and become money hungry and not to sound too left wing and stuff, but it's got all capitalist and nasty. Um,
But there's nothing wrong with capitalism. We might have American subscribers, man. Shut up.
Well, I
But
hope they haven't switched off at this point. What I'm trying to put across in my point is the fact that back in the day, it was almost a hobbyist thing. Like you'd find magazines about how to code games, and you'd find lots of bits around the actual getting under the bonnet and doing stuff. Whereas now it's a consumer based model, so people are looking for entertainment, looking for escapism, and they are quite simply just willing to part with money for that extra 60 hours they might get out of a game if they're lucky. And that's getting squeezed and squeezed and squeezed until there's nothing left.
well, it's not getting squeezed. It's just having parts excised and then made to pay for separately.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I'm sort of pointing at. The fact that people are being made to pay more over the odds for something that's much, much less than they thought they were going to get in the first place.
Uh, yeah, there's an argument to that, but I kind of want to like drag this back to where I was going.
Go for it.
Okay, yeah, the season pass. I did tweet about it. Heartbreaking, but there you go. It was like £20 for a season pass. Lovely. So I paid £35 for the game on Steam, so that brings up to £55, which is a bit expensive. But that is not the only mistake they've made. Certainly we have the Korean debacle as well, where they didn't finish the Korean localization in time for launch, and so basically we're not going to launch it in an unfinished state, so you're going to have to wait a couple of days. And the Korean gamers went apeshit, basically.
Just not to push off at another tangent here, but
that's all right. That's what it's about, I suppose.
When I was looking at the settings for this game, there were the language options were restricted to extremely Eastern European options plus English. So you had Russian, Polish, English, and Czech, I think.
Okay.
So for the Korean edition, there must be Korean, I would guess.
Yeah, they've probably done that because there's some sort of StarCraft level in it.
But the other thing was, I was thinking, well, if they've got a Korean version, then shouldn't they have also like a French version or a German version? And why isn't that available in the game?
I don't know, because you would think that'd be likely, seeing as CD Projekt Red are Polish.
Well, yeah, that's why the Eastern European stuff seems to be quite strong, I think.
Yeah. I'll get back to my point.
I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, as long as it's in English and I can understand what I'm doing, it's fine.
Yeah, stupid other countries not speaking English. What are they thinking?
Probably thinking in their own language, whatever they want to say about you.
Which would probably be a lot. But anyway, dragging it, kicking and screaming back.
Yeah.
What they've also done is, okay, the localization for the Koreans went nuts. To be fair, they're exploding over nothing. It's literally a 2-day delay. I mean, I've been waiting for the 3DS version of Attack on Titan. They said it's coming out in May. I've been literally checking every day in May. Finally got fed up checking every day in May. Googled it. It's pushed back to next month, at least because of licensing issues in this country. It's out in the States, though. Yay.
Well, good for you guys in the States.
Yeah. But, I mean, the release of The Witcher 2 is only delayed by like 2 days. It's coming out on the 21st over there, so... You know, I can appreciate them being mad if they took a day off to play it. But in this current climate of gaming, when like most day one stuff is broken as hell,
yeah,
I've really stopped doing that. I used to do that quite a lot. I used to take a day off for a game I was really excited about because it would normally come out on Fridays on here and then have the weekend with it.
Yeah, I did the same thing sometimes. But I mean, I think the problem is that we've been as consumers, we've been also very easy on the companies when that stuff happens, because as soon as they've got your money and you've paid for it or pre-ordered it, do they really care what happens? Probably not that much if it's a big company like Ubisoft.
Wondering when that was coming out.
No, but companies that are that size, they've got the pre-order money, they've got the money for the game on day one, they embargo things till after release, so you're ending up with a game that's broken and you've got no way to really sort of get your money back. And I'm making quotation marks even though you can't see them. But obviously you can probably get a return on a faulty product. Mm-hmm. But if you just go, I don't like it, that's not really going to help many people get a refund, is it?
No, but I mean, it would be justifiable. I mean, certainly in a case of Unity to say it's broken.
Yeah, I've said many, many times there needs to be some level of trading standards regulation on video games for quality, not necessarily the content. But if you are saying that a game is an epic struggle across the universe, and you end up saying, well, actually, it's just on one world, and you can't go to all the places in that world because we didn't get around to coding it, then the company should have to withdraw that product and give a refund.
Yeah, but I mean that's less quality and more mis-selling, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's kind of what I'm pointing at with the quality. If you were going to say you're going to do something as a game and it fails to do that, that's a quality issue.
Well, I think a quality issue for me would be, say, if it didn't run, or if it, like, in Unity where you're clipping through walls and getting stuck and
losing face.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's more for that. If there's just features in the game which aren't in it and weren't advertised for it, for me that's misselling. Because there was that whole thing where they tried to sue BioWare over Mass Effect 3.
Oh yeah, for the ending.
Yeah, and I think someone in England, one of the trading standard guys in England, actually said you would have a case.
Yeah, well, why didn't we do it? Why didn't we do it as a collective league? Why didn't we all get together and start up a massive movement legally to do that? Because I was pissed off about the ending as much as anyone.
We did. It was called Retake Mass Effect.
Oh. I didn't get the memo.
You weren't up to 3 a.m. going through forum boards to understand what the hell you just played like I was.
No, because you played it before me, and
Yeah.
I had to put up with you moaning about it, so I had that pain as well as the end of the game. I mean, I'll stick in the fact that Mass Effect 3 was a fantastic end to a journey, but the end was shit.
Yeah, it's definitely a roller coaster ride, and it's really fun while you're playing it, with the perhaps exceptions of quest tracking and having to overhear conversations instead of just getting a quest. That's because you never know what conversation lists to, but that's by the by. But yeah, the ending was a gut punch. It really was. Now, after spending like hundreds of hours over 3 games getting to know these characters and being told your choices matter, and being told by the producer at BioWare that it would not be an ABC ending. And then we got that. I've shown you that picture about 5 jillion times. I'll see if I can find it and pop it up on the podcast at this point. But I'm sure everybody's seen it anyway.
Yeah, it's an old picture. I mean, it's probably public domain anyway by now. But yeah, I mean, that kind of thing really pisses me off in games. I mean, everyone has their own reasons for playing games, casually or hardcore or otherwise. But if you are paying money for a product, it should be treated like any other product. If it doesn't work or doesn't do what you expected it to do, and you missold it, then it should be refunded and people should be held to account. It shouldn't just be a matter of having a license to print money. In the terms of bringing it back to the subject, check it out. Season passes and DLC and expansions, etc. The only time it should be is if it's got value to it, then there shouldn't be a problem. But it shouldn't be a necessary thing to do to experience the full product of the game.
That actually brings me quite nicely onto my next point.
Wow.
You've taken it full circle. You've brought it from chicken to egg. Nice one. But okay, so Witcher 3, as I said, I've bought it for £35. There was a discount on it when I bought it. I'll just make that clear. I can't remember how much it was. It was somewhere between 10 and 17%.
I think it was 17.
It was somewhere around there. I can't remember specifically, but it basically was the same on Steam and GOG wherever you bought it. But if you go and look for it today, it's £50, which is more expensive than the console versions. And the console versions, they have to pay licensing fees to Sony and Microsoft, and pretty big ones, which is why console games have been historically much more expensive than PC games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, realistically, only Call of Duty has been price tagged at £50 on new release, and that's because 6 trillion people buy it.
Wow, from other planets as well. I realised
I
it was
think they
popular.
might be actually. Yes.
I knew it was popular, but I didn't think it actually made it out of the solar system.
Well, yeah, they had that space one, or that bit of the space one in it.
Now I'm going to get close to the microphone for this because this is a factoid. Did you know?
Oh God.
Did you know that copyright actually applies to the solar system?
The solar system's copyrighted.
No, as in it came about when people started to transmit music across satellites and across continents. So it meant that the actual information was going up into the stratosphere, into orbit, and then coming back down again.
So if any aliens were to pick up broadcasts from Earth,
we could sue them, Lee. We could fucking sue them.
Hey, you Venusians, you better watch out for friggin' Nintendo, I'll tell you.
They're coming for you. I do hope that sounds creepy.
More sort of hoarse, but there you go.
Fair enough. But yeah, it's a nice little factoid to know that if you ever get involved with copyright, there's a clause in most copyright contracts, I suppose, that actually not limit it to the solar system because it's going out of the Earth's orbit.
Yeah, what the hell are they going to do with 30,000 Zarglons anyway?
Well, we'll have to be careful because they all play Call of Duty. They're fucking hard-ass killers, mate.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
And of course, we love them, don't we? So they won't kill us.
What, the Venusians?
Yeah.
I probably... Well, Venus is the god of beauty, right? So I'm thinking like triple-breasted hot women.
So you just watched Total Recall far too many times. There are no women that have 3 boobs.
There is! She was in Good Luck Chuck. Ha ha!
Well, okay, let me rephrase it. I've never met any girl with 3 boobs.
Well, no, I imagine they're quite rare. And not allowed out of the house in case someone snaps them up.
So that's probably the most tangent-fueled conversation ever to be on a podcast.
I don't know about that. That's a bit of a claim.
Badgers. There we go. That's just put it to the nth degree. Anyway,
I'm pretty sure we'll take that now.
What the fuck were we talking about?
The horrific price of Witcher 3 on PC.
Horrific prices, yeah.
I mean, it's more expensive than... I mean, you paid 45?
Yeah, I'm the console peasant. I had to pay, I think it was around 44, 42, around that kind of mark for it.
Yeah, so the PC is more expensive, despite not having to pay licensing fees to greedy Sony and Microsoft.
Well, if you want to use the best kit, then, it's up to you if you have to pay more. I think it's fair.
It's so not fair. That's why PC games are so cheap. They don't pay the licensing. That's why you can put more money into your rig, because you gain it back on all the games you buy. And I buy a shit ton of games, so really they owe me money now.
Yeah, but this is the point. People aren't reacting to it, and it's too early to tell with Witcher 3 how that will affect sales. But that's all they care about. They only care about sales. They don't care about the community that's going to have to suffer with the game afterwards because they've got their money.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to basically, you can sell a game for 50 quid. If that individual thinks he's getting 50 quid's worth of entertainment out of that, he's not going to moan.
Exactly.
And to find out whether or not we think that you'll get 50 quid's worth of entertainment out of The Witcher 3, stay tuned!
And click this annotation that will be there once the release is up, because this will be out before the release of the video review. So
this should be out tomorrow with any luck, but
yeah, this will. But I mean, we're now time traveling. Isn't that special? We're going to release something like this podcast out into the interwebs, and people are going to go, "Where is the review of Witcher 3? They said it was available, but it's not yet."
That is some straight up millennium shit.
I know. I feel like a future boy.
I feel like Cheryl Ladd.
Oh, I had a. This is even more on a tangent. I had the strangest bus journey home today. There was a woman with about 2 kids. I say about because I think she had 3.
How can you not tell?
Because the bus was really packed, and I don't know where the other kids might have been, but they had guns. Like, they had little toy guns, not real ones, toy guns, and they were shooting everyone on the bus. And then this little kid announced that everyone on the bus was good, so they won't die. I thought that was quite sweet.
Did you give them the face when they pointed at you? You were like,
Well, the twist of the story is I was sat with a couple of friends from work on the way back on the bus, and they actually said, "Oh no, he's a bad man," so they just carried on shooting me. Very strange. Sorry about that. I had to get that off my chest. Thank you for listening. So, yeah, I mean, back to gaming news rather than my travels to and from work.
The console peasant on the bus. I mean, I'll be surprised.
Oh, I'm sorry. The PC barreling your Mercedes on the way to work.
No, it's a pair of chucks, but you'll be all right.
Yeah. I'm surprised you haven't got a little fucking scooter or something.
Oh, no. What are they called? The Segway. I get a Segway.
Segway.
Segway. I was close.
I'd love to see you on a Segway. That would be the funniest thing in the world.
Oh, it'd be like I should buy one of those mini bikes. It'd be like that. Fat guy on the mini bike.
Oh, mate, that'd be intense. But we're not here to talk about our travel arrangements. I'm sure people might have switched off by now. So if you're still there listening, thank you.
I'm getting to past caring.
I've nearly done my first can. I don't even know how long it's been. Probably about 10 minutes.
I got foam all over my spit shield.
Nice. I'd hate to see the state of your spit shield. Yeah, that's just lost another viewer, listener.
I take it back. It's a pop filter. Sorry.
It doesn't mean you can pour beer and coke through it though.
We've got to try and learn to take drinks of beer at separate times so we don't get any dead air.
I'm going to drink now.
I said separate times.
You didn't tell me when I could drink, so this is not going well, is it?
Well, just put it down. It'll be fine.
I'm not going to drink. I'm going to keep talking. So, I think one of the things that I would probably like to talk about a little bit is the recent kind of announcements that they are bringing God of War 3 as a restored, re-release, remaster for PS4. And I'll just say one thing about it, really. It's not really a discussion point, but just don't fucking need to do it, do you?
Oh, really?
Seriously. It's a game that was out, what, no more than maybe 3 years ago?
Yeah, also I think the lack of a gap between the PS3 and the PS4, I mean, it's better on the PS4, but it's not significantly better. It's not like coming from the PS2 and into the PS3.
No, and we've had God of War Ascension between God of War 3 and its remaster.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, I'm God of War'd out. To me, I loved the games. They were really interesting when they first came out. They were epic. They were huge on the PS2. It was just astounding what they were doing with it. And then it became 3 games of the same story.
It's like, how many times can you kill all the gods?
How many times can you get kicked back to Hades?
And lose all your powers.
And have to gain them back again. Oh, and don't gain them back again because you've got some new ones because it's a new game and you want to keep it interesting, don't you? So I'm a bit annoyed about that. I mean, some remasters or re-releases on PS4 I've got involved with. Things like Walking Dead. I definitely got involved with that again because I wanted to play the second one. I hadn't got around to playing the second one on the PS3. But this game, I've done the whole God of War 3 game, and I've completed it, and I've had my time, and I've put it down. It's taking up a lovely space on my shelf. I don't need it again, and I don't need a digital version, which is going to be probably more expensive than God of War 3 was on the PS3 3 years ago.
Oh God, absolutely, on the PSN prices, Jesus.
Exactly. So I don't understand. I just don't get the point of it. Nobody's going to want to play that game now. And if they do, it's going to be a very small subset of people that didn't have a PS3.
Yeah, I mean...
Because it wasn't exclusive.
The thing is, that's not a small subset. Because you could argue that the 360 won the previous generation. Because it came out at a lower price, had... maybe the same exclusives, but it was generally more popular. It was more seen as a gaming machine, where the PS3 was trying to be a multimedia asset. Which is... exactly the opposite of where this generation is going, with the Xbox One trying to be the centerpiece of your living room and the PS4 just going, nah, fuck all that, we're just doing games.
Yeah, and I thank Sony for taking that decision, actually, because I finally got friends that I know, not just friends I don't know, which is a bit worrying, but my friends are people that some of them have got PS4s now, and when I had a PS3, I think you were the only person I knew, Lee, that had a PS3.
Well, it costs more and I'm an elitist, so there you go.
Well, you're a twat. No.
I'm an elitist twat, get it right.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Baron. But yeah, I now have friends that have the same thing, and it's going well. So
yeah, well, you say it's going well, but you're playing Destiny.
Oh, you chose to do that as soon as I took a drink. Now I will stand by my decision to play Destiny because it's playing with friends. So I'm enjoying it because it's not a bad game, but it's something that's it's much more enjoyable when you're playing with friends or people you know.
Maybe this would be a good time to discuss Destiny, seeing as we're probably not going to ever review it.
Oh, really? Well, we need to have that conversation.
Oh, God, you're not going to make me play Destiny.
Well, I might do, just for shits and giggles.
I already wasted like 45 quid on it, Jesus. What more do you want?
Well, so what did you want to talk about Destiny?
Well, I mean, you like it.
And you don't?
Well, no, your like is a more... It's a more gradual liking, I suppose, because like when we played it initially, we were both pretty much on the same page about it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So let's tell all our faithful listeners. And by the way, I have to give a quick shout out to the 6 people that watch my Hearthstone videos every time. Nice one, lads.
That was me clapping, nothing else.
Hearts. Yeah, hearts.
Go for the feels. Yeah, so when we first started playing it, we were pretty much on the same page. It was a massive £500 million game that was big, supposed to blow the water open and be this next generation of MMO console multi-platform, beautiful kind of game, and it didn't live up to any of the hype. And I agreed with you on that.
Yes.
The part that I started to get back involved with, I was sucked in a little bit by their marketing because because we'd bought the game at the start, we got an email through around Christmas time saying, "Oh, thanks for your support and here's some free stuff." And I was like, "Ooh, free stuff!" So I logged on and realised I hadn't played it for a while, and some friends of mine had just got their hands on it, probably picked it up from a bargain bin somewhere, but. They started playing, and it was like, okay, should we do some strikes and do some stuff together and play around? And it was cool, and so I enjoyed it, and we carried on, doing it, doing the kind of missions in the game, having a grind. I'm burping now because I've had so much beer.
I'm being discreet with mine. Thank you very much.
But yeah, we just enjoy playing it together, and I think the position I'm in with Destiny now, when it obviously came out, everyone, including people like Angry Joe, which I did watch his review on it, his view at the start of the review was, "You done fucked it up," and in a way they had, but I think it's started to improve and become a bit more of a. I can see where they're trying to go with it, and they are actually listening to the players. That's one thing I will say about Bungie. They're not doing what people were expecting them to have done, but they are listening to feedback, and they're making changes to improve the game for the players, which is something a lot of companies need to take note on.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I can applaud the fact they're changing the game. It's just it's a very, very confused game. It has a real identity crisis about it because it's trying to be this first-person shooter, but also have your standard MMO fare in it. And
Pseudo
yeah,
MMO.
yeah. So those are not happy bedfellows at the best of times.
I think the biggest problem, Lee, is the fact that they haven't got a decent sort of matchmaker, team finder sort of solution in the game. There's a number of websites you can do to actually find other people that are looking for to make a strike team or to make a fire team to go and actually do these kind of missions together. But there's nothing that brings, for an MMO, you need to be able to converse with people.
Yeah.
You need to be able to talk. Only way you can do that is by entering into team chat. And what I would like to see, if Bungie are listening, I mean, if they are, it's fucking incredible they are, because
Master Chief Collection was awesome.
but with what I would like to see in the game would be some way to have a flag or a notification on your character that said, I'm looking to get involved with the fire team. I want to do this raid. I want to do this. I want to do that. I'm just in it for doing patrol missions, or I'm just having fun. Whatever, just to say, if you're looking around for people to join your fire team, you know who to try and invite, and not just spam everyone.
So it's basically like the looking for group chat.
Yeah, that kind of thing. I mean, that's what it's missing, because if you're playing on your own, there's no way to really get involved unless you're forced into a strike with two other members. It's not really great, and unless you actually want to get involved and actually talk to them, it feels a bit lonely. And that's why playing with friends, it makes the game so much better, because you can have a laugh, you can gain your loot, you can compare stats. It'd just be great if you could share some bits around, to be honest, as well.
Yeah, you can play about that one bastard that keeps getting all the good drops.
Yeah, me.
That's not the story you told last time.
There's a particular gun that was in the first expansion, which I had for free because I bought the special edition at the time. I was one of those people that got duped.
Boo, special edition.
But yeah, I had the special edition. So on the first expansion, there's a gun called Husk of the Pit. And Husk of the Pit is a really crap gun, but you level it up and it's something you can turn into an exotic. So it's a top end type of gun you can get in the game level wise. And to get to that point, it takes a lot of work and lots of grinding to do it. But I've got 4 of them, and a friend of mine has been doing exactly the same things to get the gun as me, which apparently you have to do. You have to kill Knights of Crota. But to do that, he's got to date none of the guns. So
He's got to date guns.
he's got none of them.
Oh, okay, I see. He wasn't romantically involved with his gun or anything like that.
No.
Okay.
But what I will say about Destiny as well is there's a weird practice they've had to do to launch the second expansion, which came out yesterday.
Hmm.
The first expansion involved you hunting down these Knights of Crota.
Sorry, let's get a giggle every time.
Crota. But it was a task you had to do to hunt down these knights, and when they did the latest update, the latest patch, to prepare for the new expansion, they had to take out some of those knights, so the ability that they would be spawning on Earth.
Whoa. Knights of
Crota. But they had to take that particular kind of event out, and it wasn't happening anymore. Despite keeping the bounty that was a mission to kill these things in the actual game, and it was kind of nobody knew what was going on, and it was apparently because the in order to put that new stuff into the game, for all of the generations, so the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions as well, they've had to reduce. They basically didn't have enough memory to do it inside the game.
You do realise this is a PC problem, right?
Well, it sounds like a PC problem, but there wasn't enough, I suppose, room in the game to have that and to have others. So it was kind of a weird thing, because it meant that the PS3 owners and the Xbox 360 owners didn't have the ability to compare gear, which is another thing that you'd use to choose which gun is better than others. But
it's insane.
It's just bizarre. It was really, really bizarre. I mean, the new expansion's out. I haven't had a chance to play it yet because you've banned me from playing it before we get around to reviewing a certain CD Projekt Red game.
Oh, come on. I'd like to play that anyway over it.
Well, I probably would, because it's new. And the bit that annoys me the most, actually, is the fact they both came out on the same day. So I am fucked. I've got proper first world problems.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Real first world problems. So, yeah, it's your fault. Everything wrong with Destiny is your fault.
Oh no, I bailed on Destiny pretty early on. It was the problem I have with Destiny is, if you want to play an MMO, there are better MMOs. You want to play a first-person shooter, there are better first-person shooters. I mean, I played the Master Chief Collection after playing Destiny. That is so much better as a shooter.
Well, yeah. I mean, there are obviously better games that are, master of one, jack of all trades kind of scenario. But I've got to say, Destiny for me feels clean. It's clean. If I wanted to solo doing stuff, great. If I want to get my gear, great. If I want to compare it with my friends, just as fun. If I want to play with guys that I know, it's fine. To me, it just feels like a real escapism, switch off, chill out kind of game. And because of the grind, I can put on Spotify and listen to tunes while I'm doing it.
Fair enough. I think the problem is, it's like we both got into the beta.
Yes, we did, yeah.
And we were like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
What else are they going to do?
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, it's exactly what we both thought. And there's so many bits that kind of have been left out, and the vision of the game has been constricted down to something that doesn't represent what it probably was supposed to be. I think that's fair.
Well, I think it's fair to say they're not going to be having the 10-year life cycle they were imagining.
Oh, they'd have a 10-year life cycle. You have to remember, the community playing Destiny is one of the largest.
The planet we live on, man! The planet we live on!
There's something like 9.5 million active users around the globe.
Well, I think we know where to start our list.
Seriously, apparently it's one of the most active, probably because of the grind, but it's one of the most active gaming communities per game out at the moment.
Except proper MMOs.
Well, I think I saw something the other day that said that WoW's lost 3 million in 3 months.
Yeah, but how much has it got left?
Well, I don't think it was up at the heights of the 12 million or whatever it was. Quick, look, I can hear you typing, Lee.
Typing!
This, you can't get any more current than this podcast, ladies and gentlemen. This is Lee researcher and also PC Baron, looking up exactly what's happening.
Via Google, and I can't spell words.
So the next task is to make you look up things about Destiny, so it gets into your search history and starts giving you
No,
recommendations.
I'm already annoyed that you look at Destiny videos on our bloody channel.
I keep accidentally doing that. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
It's unforgivable. Like, look up tits or something.
Somehow I don't think tits make it onto YouTube.
Well, to be fair, when they launched Warlords of Draenor, which is the most recent expansion on WoW, they gained 10 million subscribers. So they've really not
Wow.
lost any. They've gained 7.5.
Wow, 10 million
10 million.
from one expansion.
Yep.
Is that people that would have potentially switched off before it and then gone, oh, it's a new thing, let's get back on?
Yeah, because it raised the level cap, so they're like, oh, we got new content, we got to level up more, so we'll go back on that. But to only have lost like 2.5 or whatever it was. How much was it?
I read something like 3 million in 3 months.
3 million, yeah. So they've still got a net gain of 7 there.
Oh, that's interesting. Because, I mean, when it was, when I thought it was at its height, it was something like 12 million subs every month.
Although Wikipedia has given a different number, but it's Wikipedia.
Yeah, we can't really trust Wikipedia for stats and facts. I mean, we could go on there and change the number right now.
Absolutely.
Should we do that? No, we can't do that.
We can.
Well, we can, but we'd actually have recording of us doing it, and therefore we'll be liable for prosecution.
No, they'll just change it back.
Son of a bitch. But yeah, that's certainly something that I think it's an interesting kind of point when people start bashing Destiny, because I think.
Oh, no, wait. I've totally misread that. Shit. It's the beer. I blame the beer. Which totals more than 10 million subscribers. So it reached 10 million after the release of Warlords of Draenor. It did not gain 10 million.
I'm glad you pointed that out, because I was thinking it was a bit high. But
See, I want to shit on Destiny, but the internet won't allow it. Bastard.
Yeah, but I think that's one thing we need to do now, is to take a step back and look at, the game that came out originally wasn't up to the hype, and that's because we were stupid enough to believe the hype. I think 2014 has really taught us a lot about pre-orders, about expectations, about the quality that we can expect from games in general. And when something does come along, most people now are not going to be doing pre-orders. They're not going to be getting things on day one, says the man that's just bought Witcher 3. But the fact is that we've been burned almost one too many times.
Well, you have. You buy Ubisoft games all the bloody time.
I do, and I'm not proud of it. I'm a man of guilty pleasures, Lee. I'm a man who pre-orders games because he's just got into a habit and can't break it.
Not just games. Come on.
I'm a smoker, yes.
What? I meant special editions, you fool.
Oh. But special editions in general, I have quite a lot, yes. I mean, I have to say, I enjoy buying special editions if they are worth the money and good value. I almost bought the special edition for Witcher 3 because that was incredible.
Yeah, well, it turns out the standard edition wasn't bad.
The standard edition was not bad, you're right. But the special edition was about 140 quid, I think. I can't remember the price of it now. But yeah, it was 100 and something pounds for a figurine and lots of other bits, and a medallion as well, Witcher medallion. But the only other special edition that was fairly good value for me was Watch Dogs. That was a really, really good special edition. They'd put more thought into that than they had to in the actual game.
I'm unsurprised. Did it just come in a cardboard box?
No, no, it did not. It had a really well-made figurine of the main character, who I don't really care about. They had AR cards, so augmented reality cards, which are very fun to play around with, and it was a nice touch, something new. The usual kind of art book and soundtrack, which you get in most special editions. I forget what other bits, but the actual box itself was a really nice, big, fucking huge box. So big it takes up like half of one of my shelves.
That sounds inconvenient.
It is inconvenient, but my whole shelf is actually full of special edition packages, so it's good. The most disappointing one I ever bought was for the PS3, which was, I think it was God of War Ascension. Actually, looking at it, yeah, God of War Ascension comes with a great figurine of Kratos.
Kratos.
That's the beer talking. But in the package, his arms aren't attached to his body. So when he's in the box, he looks like he's really angry, but he's angry because he's lost his arms. Not that he's about to chop your head off.
He's just going to bite you.
And it's not very well made either. It's a bit of a shame.
Well, wasn't God of War essentially made by essentially a different studio or something? It was like
I think that one was. Yeah, I think that one was.
I think it was just the guys that did Chains of Olympus, wasn't it?
Mm.
The PSP one.
Yeah, I think it was. But yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of a special edition because it's almost you want to celebrate a game. You want to celebrate something you've been waiting for. And in 2014, we actually had that problem of pre-orders not living up to the hype, so it became a bit painful. But special editions for me should be something when there is a need for a special edition, not just because you've got a game coming out.
Mm.
So if you had like a 20th anniversary of a game, which is enough time for you to do a remaster. So say, for example, like Another World, right? Another World, one of my favourite games of all time. When I was a kid, I used to pretend I was a scientist typing stuff into the opening cutscene. I was that sad and tragic. But
I pretended I was drowning and being chased by tentacles.
oh man, this is like catharsis. Just we're learning so much about each other here. This is incredible. But
are you scared as I am?
Yes, I'm very scared. But I'm thankfully not in the same room as you. So
the magic of the internet.
Ta-da. Anyway, Another World had a 20th anniversary edition come out, and that for me would be something that you'd want to do for a special edition with lots of videos or documentaries about it and making it an event, making it special. Did you just throw your can of lager across the room?
No.
Because I could totally hear it, and I know it's exactly how you do that. Yeah, absolutely. Dead on. But yeah, for me, special editions aren't something we do as we have a game, how can we get more money? Do a special edition, give them some extra crap they won't ever use. It should be that it's a celebration of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I bought the Another World Special Edition on Steam, and it came with just a lot of developer video stuff. And that was interesting, but I kind of already knew the history behind it. So it wasn't... I mean, I think in that instance, I would have rather have gotten a physical copy, because they could have given you a model of the Panther or something like that.
Yeah, which would have been interesting as it was all blocks.
Yeah, done in exactly the same style. I think that would have been quite cool.
I think it'd be very cool. We should so do that and sell it because people will buy it.
And then get sued by Eric Chahi.
Yeah.
Chahi, that was close.
Yeah, but it'll be worth it because we get to meet Eric Chahi in the courtroom and say, well done, mate. We only wanted to say thank you for a great game. Yes.
And I always used to skip to the tank level so I could shoot things.
Yeah, I don't think it really mattered which button you pushed, did it?
It was just this blows up there, that blows up this. Fine. Let's just do it in different orders.
But that was one of those magical games that just made you think more about what was going on in that universe or that world that was never really explained or kind of drawn out. And it's crying out for someone to take that on and make another game from it and not fuck it up.
What, you mean like the Flashback remake?
Well, see, Flashback, it was off the back of it from the same software house, wasn't it? But it wasn't necessarily the same guy that did it.
Mm.
I'm not sure if Eric Chahi actually did anything on that with Delphine Software.
Uh-huh.
Call to arms, Lee. Research that motherfucker. Sorry, you're typing and I'm drinking. That was totally dead air. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Thanks for continuing to listen to this lovely podcast from Byte Gaming.
I'm concentrating on typing Flashback.
But Flashback was a good game. It wasn't terrible. But they tried to do a Flashback 3D, and that was just awful.
92, there we go.
92, that's only a year after Another World.
Designer was Paul Crusset, Cusset.
Yeah. Yeah, so it wasn't Eric. Good old Eric. I wonder what Eric's doing now. Eric, if you're listening to this, just let someone know you're still alive, right? There must be people that care about you.
He's quite thin. 2011, From Dust was the last thing he did.
He was involved in From Dust.
Yes.
Well, I'm disappointed because that was shit. Did you ever play From Dust?
I do. It's in my Steam library.
It's that kind of terraforming kind of god mode game, isn't it?
Mm.
And it's fun for a while, but it just annoyed me.
It did. Heart of Darkness in '98 as well from Interplay.
Mm.
Which I don't think I ever played.
It's not...
Oh no, wait! I played a demo of that. I remember it's a PlayStation game.
Well, it's nice to know he's still in the games industry and doing stuff because that Another World was an absolute masterpiece.
I think what impressed me much it was basically just him doing it, right?
Yeah, everything,
and it just looked better than anything else.
Yeah, it was groundbreaking. For all of you young'uns out there, right, who are younger than me, I'm a 35-year-old man. And back in 1990, 91, I was 10, 11 years old. And games still were not photorealistic or anywhere near it like they are today. And you had to put up with polygons, badly drawn faces, no speech. It was awful. Compared to today, you'd think you were gone back to the Dark Ages. And in a way,
graphic-wise, we did have good games. They were just graphically unimpressive.
Yeah, that's the point. The gameplay was so much more important, and it was if the game didn't play properly, then it was a turn off, and no one would touch it because the graphics weren't a big thing. We're always looking for better graphics, and that's why we are here today. But
plus, you couldn't patch it back in those days either. The internet did not exist.
It pretty much did not exist at all anywhere, really. I mean, that's probably the time when, well, they were probably starting to make it commercial, but it was still in the early stages because the internet's been around since the 60s, really, isn't it?
Yeah, sort of in the college networks and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's right. So, back in those days, it was a case of just doing what you had, dealing with what you actually had your hands on. So that game was kind of groundbreaking because it was suddenly like, oh my God, things are moving on screen and it looks kind of real.
And the shading was awesome.
Yeah, and it's got like real movement. It's all rotoscoped and stuff. It's the first rotoscope game I ever played, I think, was probably Prince of Persia.
Yeah, I would say it's probably correct.
The original, not the recent ones, but Prince of Persia from 1989 or 1987 or something.
Prince of Persia had the best thud sound ever when you hit the floor after missing a jump.
Oh, and the sound it made, we're going to have to play that sound if we can find it.
Oh, good grief.
But I doubt we
Don't make promises!
I'm not making a promise. It kind of sounded, when you hit a spike, it kind of made that sound. It was just like that.
Okay.
If you can find it, Lee, and find a sound bite of Prince of Persia spike death sound.
I might have to infringe other YouTube users, but
but it was that kind of it was just amazing. It was just stuff like that really made the game. It really did.
Yeah, stop making promises where you're dragging up my editing time.
Well, you don't have to put it in. I've just made a very good impression of that noise. It's absolutely identical to my voice box.
I think what I'll do is pinch some gameplay off some YouTuber and rip the sound.
Well, you could do if you've got time to. I mean, we are going to be... This is currently being recorded on Wednesday. Was it today, the 20th of May?
20th of May, yep. 9 minutes past 8.
Exactly. I've yet to eat my dinner, so this is going to be... I'm going to be working for my food. That's how I see it, anyway.
I'm in the process of eating my dinner.
Oh well. So as it stands, if we do get the sound, if we don't worry about it.
You can look it up.
Yeah, I mean, if you are already that into finding out stuff about the noise that the guy makes when he's stabbed to death in Prince of Persia, by all means, go and have a search. I mean, that's what Google's there for, you fucking idiot. I mean, come on, guys. This back in the room, right?
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay. But yeah, special editions. That's what they should be for. Games to celebrate, and an event to celebrate, not just how can we make some more money?
Yeah, but it's endemic that like nowadays they put more money into the more effort into the special edition than they do the game because they're getting more money for it. So they're charging like 40 quid for the game and then an additional 60 quid for the special edition shit.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you look back to the early proper special editions that were coming out, things like Call of Duty having night vision goggles and
What the fuck was up with that? Jesus.
yeah, I mean, I never saw any from that era because it was just out of my price range to do special editions.
I bet they go for $1 million.
Well, I looked up special editions once, and there are like a top 10, and one of them is about. I think it was going for about 50 grand or something.
Holy shit.
Um,
Is the game good?
well, it's one of those special editions. I think the top one was actually the. It's not really a special edition, but it was the Nintendo cartridge given to people that competed at.
The Gold World Championships
Yeah,
ones.
yeah. I think that's the most expensive game cartridge or game sort of thing that was in the list. Other special editions is things like the night vision goggles, and some kind of misprinted things as well. So
That's weird. It's just like you pay for a mistake.
yeah, but yeah, I still like special editions, and things like that. Games make me happy. So if I want to celebrate a particular franchise I'm into, then why not?
Except you buy most of the Assassin's Creed special editions.
Well, to be fair to them, their games suck dog bollocks, but
Absolutely.
well, that's a bit unfair. I do enjoy playing the games, but I don't enjoy the broken mess that was Unity. Just inexcusable. The practices on that were inexcusable. But
Okay, the new one. What are you doing with that?
I don't know. I'm torn. I'm torn because
I need to look up the name of it. I'm so
it's
disinterested.
Assassin's Creed Syndicate, I think.
Syndicate. Yes, you're right.
They have got
Which, by the way, is an awesome game and should never be associated with Assassin's Creed.
yeah, both versions are quite good actually.
What, the new one as well?
Yeah, I think so. I think I've seen mixed reviews, but the stuff I've seen looks quite good game. I've not played the second one. I've only played the first one.
Do you mean the first-person shooter one?
No, didn't they re-release it?
They did. There was like an expanded version they did, and they did Syndicate 2 as well, and then they did a reboot, which was the first-person shooter.
Oh, not the reboot. No, no, no.
I've got the reboot. It's not a bad first-person shooter, but it's not Syndicate.
It's no Destiny either, is it?
Bit of Destiny.
But yeah, I mean, with Assassin's Creed Syndicate, they're not doing an old console generation game, so that could bode well. Hopefully, they've fucking learnt their lesson from last time. But
No, they haven't.
well, let's put it this way: it's been less. Well, it'll be less than a year
Yeah, exactly.
since Unity, and if they have anything wrong with this game at day one, they are going to have so much backlash.
I mean, Christ, how much did their stock drop by last time? Jesus.
I think it ended up being about 9%.
Yeah, it was like, Jesus Christ. So we make a bad game and our business becomes less valuable. Huh.
Let's get another game out to try and recoup the losses.
It's The Crew, which doesn't work on release.
Yeah. The problem is, the problem I have is Ubisoft, and I think we've agreed on this before, they don't know what they are. They don't know if they're a developer or a publisher. Because they seem to be trying to do both all the time.
Well, they're trying to be Steam as well with Uplay, which is the biggest pile of shit in the history of the world.
Even bigger shit than Origin.
Oh, God, yes. Origin's so much better than Uplay. Uplay's rubbish.
So one nice thing I like about playing consoles, I just have to put it in and play the game.
Yeah, you don't log into Steam, play the game. Log into Uplay, play the game. And then get like a desktop. Ugh, thanks.
Yeah, yeah. Uplay when it started, it was just a matter of getting extra DLC without having to pay for it. And I do have Uplay or Upoints built up, but you can't really use them for anything. It's I don't
You
like
don't
it.
want to. There's not a whole lot of stuff on there that you'd be like, oh, that's good. You're just like, it's a wallpaper. Why do I want this?
Yeah, well, you don't, do you? I mean,
No, exactly.
for some things which make the game easier, if you're playing it and you have points from that game, great. Because that's just you unlocking it as you play. But the problem is that I remember in one of the Assassin's Creed games, you could get more throwing knives, for example. You could hold like 15 instead of 5. And to me, I could use the U points from all my other Ubisoft games that I had to buy that benefit,
Yeah, but
which
do you
isn't
want to buy
fair.
that? But no, exactly. Do you want to buy an actual benefit rather than it just being like skins or having a different skin for your sword or something like that, or having a different horse?
Well, because it doesn't cost you anything to get those U points, then it should just be cosmetic, really, in my view. If people want to play the game, they want to play the game. They shouldn't be fucking about with stuff that it's just pointless. If you're going to have that stuff in the game, have it in the game to be earned in the game. Don't mean that you can. Oh, if I buy lots of Ubisoft games, build up my U points, I can buy that stuff for free, effectively.
Yeah, but you've bought all these Ubisoft games.
Exactly my point. It's pointless.
Well, I know
Um,
there's points, but it's
yeah, but they're useless points.
useless
See what I did
points.
there? Useless points.
Yeah, well done.
That's after quite a lot of beer.
Yeah, I don't know how many cans I am deep. I was waiting around for you to log on, so yeah.
Excuses, excuses.
Ah,
So anything else you want to talk about on this beautiful podcast evening?
we could talk about Sega.
And what's happening with Sega?
Sega have recently removed a lot of their mobile games, saying that they do not meet the quality standards they expect of themselves.
Right.
Which begs the question, why did they release them in the first place and sell them?
That's strange. Sega are just a weird motherfucker, aren't they?
Yeah,
I mean,
and they have some pretty aggressive, maybe we should even say the word, because they're a bit of a dick on YouTube as well.
well, they won't pick us up. And if they do, what the hell? It just shows how much of a dick they are.
Make a new Streets of Rage, you bastards!
Well, just do anything. I mean, Sega to me were a decent console maker back in the sort of late 80s and early 90s. They were in their place, and then they decided to get out of that market, maybe for the right reasons, because when you're going up against Nintendo and Sony coming along, you kind of probably would get a bit scared.
Well, I mean, it was more the fact that they produce fucking add-ons for their console rather than making a new console.
Yeah, and they didn't keep up the innovation, they didn't keep up the times, and new kids got on the block and took them out. But even as a software producer, they've never, because I mean, Sega being a Japanese company, which I believe they are, aren't they?
Yes.
They seem to have this kind of every Sega game that I've played is almost like it's 5 years behind. When they were doing like full-on console releases for some of the later things, and obviously selling Sonic
Yeah.
to the
They've driven Sonic into the bloody ground.
yeah, absolutely. I mean that if you remember that god awful game that I saw Angry Joe review, that Free Riders or whatever it was called.
Yeah, Sonic Boom's not a lot better. The frame rate goes down to like 15 or something.
It's just inexcusable. I mean, inexcusable.
It's a Sonic game. That is the point.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem for you to do that.
I think they do better as a publisher rather than someone that makes their own games, because they were the publisher of Alien Isolation.
Were they really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that. That's a bit of kudos for them. Which
Have you played that?
I haven't played it yet, but I know the basically I've seen some of the gameplay, and I know that you enjoyed it. My problem with it is that I get myself into games too much. So if I get immersed in a game like that, I am fucked because I couldn't deal with that level of fear.
I smell a Let's Play coming on.
Oh, great! But when you got your headphones on and you're switched off from the world, and you've suddenly got fucking Xenomorph trying to lick your balls, it's not really something that you want to live through.
But generally you don't, so you're okay.
That's all right then. Oh, that's okay. I can play it because it won't scare me at all.
That's not too bad. I think my main problem with Alien Isolation is because the Xenomorph is completely autonomous. He has no scripted movements. It just uses the AI, which
Right.
is impressive. But the AI is smarter than I am, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, I will get around to playing it at some point. Maybe it'll become a freebie on PS4 at some point, or
Yeah, that'll be about 4 years' time, I expect.
Well, maybe, but we might do a let's play of it. Let us know in the comments if you want us to do a let's play of Alien Isolation and watch me get scared. And Lee, you're banned from the comments.
I've just realised I was about to search Assassin's Creed and I've left my Google browser on ass and it showed me some disturbing things.
Brilliant.
That one is, but no.
I'm now trying to think of a game that starts with the word dick just to piss you off. And you might have to look at dicks.
Yeah, pretty sure you're going to fail there.
Yeah.
Right. I think we can call this a day for our inaugural podcast.
Well, I think it's been fun. So, guys, if you want us to do another podcast, which we are calling Byte Back.
I came up with that. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a pretty good name. Maybe a 6 out of 10. But if if you guys want to hear more and we want to make this a regular thing, just sitting down, and maybe next time you can grab some beers and we can hang out together in a kind of weird way. So yeah, it's been fun. I've enjoyed it, mate. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should elaborate. This is the best way we could come up with to responding to news on a timely basis. Because normally what we do is when we have a shooting day, we have to plan it out in advance. We say, 2 weeks' time we'll do a shoot. And then he comes around I have to lug all my gear and my stuff down to the set and then bring it all back up again afterwards. So, like, if we're trying to react to something quickly, that means I'll come over from work, move it all down, set it all up. He comes around, we do like 20 minutes of filming, he goes away, I bring it all back up again. So we thought podcast seems the way to go.
Yeah, and obviously if you guys have got any feedback and constructive criticism, not die you fag or anything like that, but if you've got constructive criticism about anything you've heard here today, let us know.
I would say that's a very good idea.
Yes. And now you're talking like this into the microphone.
No, I just lower my voice because I can be very wide when I want.
So I suppose all that's left to say is thanks for listening.
Absolutely.
I've been Snare.
I've not been Snare. Thank you. I'm pleased.
And your name is?
My name is Lee.
Good. I'm glad we got there in the end. But yeah, guys, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you soon, either in like big face video styley or listen through your ear lug holes like this. But yeah,
I do need to add one thing.
What's that?
I've taken a screenshot of your Skype picture so everybody can see what a complete suspect you are.
Thank you.
And I'm going to end on that picture.
Well, I can't even remember what picture my Skype thing is. So
it's very lineup worthy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll just change it from now on so you can't take the piss. But enjoy.
I've already got it.
Enjoy my face.
There it is.
Look, behold my beauty.
It looks quite angry.
And don't worry, I can find some nasty pictures of you for next time. So if you want to see that, tune in.
Trust me, you don't want to see nasty pictures of me.
Okay, guys.
I had a website fail. It was embarrassing.
Oh, bless you. So, guys, I'm going to wave at the microphone because that's pretty much you. So, I'm waving.
There we go.
Fabulous. Catch you around.
I can't be expected to win this fight. I'm transfixed by your boobs.
I'm sick to death of the fucking bag. I'm going to tap your neck with my stick. No!
You brought a stick to a shotgun fight, really?
Yep.